look too good out there. It look cold is what it looks like outside. But if this is your first time joining, I'm your girl Candace. This is my hubby, Ramon, and we are the marriage duo that hosts the Couples Lounge show. We do this every Saturday at 9 o'clock where we talk about love, marriage, and relationships. Ain't nobody doing it like us.
Because they ain't us.
So, are y'all ready? But baby, you can look up for a minute and give some energy. You know, you can.
I give energy.
You don't.
I'm doing something right now.
But you can give energy right there.
You can say it for me right now.
No. Golly. Well, we got to go through this every Saturday.
We'll go through this. Don't start no.
Every Saturday. Every Saturday. For those that don't know, I am a life coach, and my husband is the teacher, and together we coach couples, and I coach individuals. So welcome, y'all. Today, we're going to be talking about emotional abandonment. Then and now. I really couldn't find like that spicy title for it, like that grab your attention. I just was like, yo, this is just what it's going to be right here. So let me say good morning to the people while my husband do what he do. Good morning, is it Dulcie? Hey, Keisha. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Mallory. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Shayla, TD, Georgina. Good morning, y'all. Keisha. He probably needs to drink it like 30 minutes before we get on the show, so it could have been kicked in by now. I just don't know.
What happened?
People say you need your coffee because your spirit is down. And my spirit is supposed to be, ain't nobody doing it like us because they ain't us. He'd be like,
so ain't this so abandonment?
God, dog.
I'm right now.
Woo! Help me.
Melanie good now. Melanie must not be able to say something by now.
Good morning. If you have not shared the video, go on and share the video. Tyra, I'm not for sure why you can't see me. I got 3 devices up right here, and I can see. Maybe if you turn my phone is turned, what's that? Horizontal. My phone is turned horizontal, so you might have to turn your phone. I don't know. But we're talking about it on today. Emotional abandonment. Y'all, this is one of these topics that it is so... Ooh, I was hot.
Okay.
Acting like a kid. Ooh, hot. Hey, Pam. So, hey, Lisa. So, it's just like, it was so much that I don't know how this show is going to unfold. I really don't. I'm just trusting God and let him do what he do and use us, because there's so many different ways that we can go with it. And so we just going to flow with it. Y'all like my rhymes? Oh, that was it. We don't know where we're going to go with it. We just going to flow with it. Okay. So emotional abandonment. Have you been emotionally abandoned, or have you emotionally abandoned your family, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your kids? Do you know? Because sometimes we do not know. What else? Joyful Self, get on here. They calling Melanie on you, baby.
I'm gonna beat up Melanie.
Are you in a relationship where you feel emotionally abandoned?
Yep.
You stop it. You don't even know what emotional abandonment is, probably. How has nothing... Wait. Okay, emotional abandonment has nothing to do with proximity, how close we are.
Right.
It physically, emotionally, you can be with each other every single day and be emotionally abandoned in your relationship. So that's what we're going to talk about. Like I said, this is a deep issue. Yeah. It really could take several shows for us to unpack this. And we probably not going to even get into everything I got on this list, because today I want to be intentional about reading what y'all type and responding to what y'all type. So
that's my job. Don't try to don't do that. That's my job.
Right.
I
I'm
do
gonna
that.
turn on my coaching skills this morning.
But I read what the people say.
Okay,
don't act like I don't do it now.
Okay, you read it, but I'm saying I want to be able to address it. Normally, I don't address it.
Okay, I get that.
Right now.
I get that. Communication. Communication. I got you.
Okay, so okay, so what is emotional abandonment? And I got my notes because I need to stay on track, and then I jump off and just flow with it. Emotional abandonment is basically someone that is important to you, or someone that you count on. Mm-hmm. They are not there for you emotionally. Mm-hmm. So basically, they don't listen to you.
Right.
They're not understanding you.
Right.
They don't nurture you.
Right.
They're not appreciating you. They don't value you.
Right.
This is letting you know if you are in an emotional abandoned situation.
Yeah, we've been in that.
Yep. They don't accept you. They don't. There's no affection, no companionship, and no love given. So if that's what you're feeling in your relationship right now, you are being emotionally abandoned. I didn't say abuse, because when you start saying abuse, people start kind of shutting down like, nah, I ain't in no abusive relationship, but sometimes you in emotionally abusive relationship. Right. But right now, we're just talking about emotional abandonment.
Right.
And like how a lot of times it shows up in ways where what you finna say?
No.
Oh, where the person has like checked out.
Right.
Like y'all just like ships coming passing
almost like roommates.
Almost like roommates. And it's just like you find yourself like you wanting to talk to your spouse, you reaching out, they ain't giving you nothing back. Right. They like saying you tripping, like ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing going on. Why you keep talking about this, that, and the other? So they basically poo-pooing all your emotions and the stuff that you feeling. But what we gotta do is rewind it. We gotta bring it back. We gotta go all the way back to where it started.
Right.
Childhood.
Right.
And so I don't even know if this show gonna be talking to parents that may be okay, let me say this. When we enter into this part right here, mm-hmm. we're talking about y'all either emotionally abandoning y'all children right now. Are you doing that to your kids right now? Or was it done to you as a kid? And why it's important is because if we were emotionally abandoned as kids, that's why it show up with adults. That's why you're dealing with this now in your relationship, because your spouse or your significant other, right. they don't know how to deal with emotions, right. because they were abandoned in this aspect as kids. So that's what we're going to talk about. And so this stemmed from a video that I saw on Instagram where this man was saying how like kids are just pure, kids are just geniuses at a very young age, and they have all this hope. And as we are kids, we are told no more than we are told yes, and then that starts to shape you. And he went on to say that he's a traveler working all the time, and mm-hmm. his daughter came in. What did his daughter say to him?
Daddy, I'll come back. You're busy right now.
Okay, yes, he was packing, and she said that, and he was like, he normally just keep moving and keep going, but in that moment, it was just like, I'm not here for my child, and am I setting her up to eventually get with a man who's not emotionally available to her, who don't have time for her? Am I setting her up to attract that, because that's what's normal?
And that's who I am.
That's who he is. He ended up getting a divorce because his wife said, you give everybody else the best of you, and you give us the rest of you.
Yeah, she was tired of it.
Tired of it. Emotional abandonment. So as kids, we need to know that we are loved and accepted for who we are as our unique self. God has already created us as he wants us to be. So a kid needs to know that my parent loved me for me. So how does emotional abandonment look for a kid? Right. So are you doing this to your kid, or was this done to you? Constant criticizing them on their actions or who they are is traumatic for a kid. When you constantly criticize them, like a one-time event, okay, no. But when it's constant, it's traumatic for a kid because they do not understand. We have limited reasoning ability when we are kids. Right. We trying to make sense of it all.
Man, you stupid.
Yeah.
Man, just dumb.
Yeah. Emotional abandonment.
Right.
Why does it feel like I'm always wrong in my father's eyes or in my mother's eyes? Why can't I do nothing right? Although you may praise them on certain things, but is your love conditional as a parent? What I mean by that is, as long as they doing what you ask them to do, it's all good. But once you get to a place where they doing something that you don't like, is how you come at them unloving.
Hold on. Okay. I feel you.
Okay.
But we're walking a thin line with that.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, because as a parent, if that is the case, if the kids are doing what you want them to do, you're making good grades, you're keeping the house clean, you're being a good person, everything's hunky-dory. We start coming home and the house ain't clean, you failing grades, you getting in trouble in school, there's going to be some problems.
Correct.
So therefore, you have to be careful because people can relate that to being, or the kids can, or to me, let me rephrase that. Certain individuals may say, okay, that's on the abandonment side, emotion. Like, okay, be careful now.
No, what I'm saying, my thing is this: you can discipline your kids,
okay,
and it still feel loving. You can correct your kids, and it still feel loving.
Well,
it's not. You don't have to tear your kids down. You don't have to make them feel like the way they did it was wrong.
It was wrong.
What I mean by that is, okay, a failing grade, yes, that is wrong. But the thing about it is, you don't know if you will say, I know my kid, I know their potential. But we don't know everything that's going on with them in their life and what they were doing during that 6 weeks. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is they're not doing things that you are liking, and then how you respond to them is, you stupid, you dumb, why you failing that class? Golly, and you criticizing them, and you making them feel so less than. And you don't. Sometimes kids have disabilities that parents don't even know about, don't want to recognize, don't want to see. This kid could be giving their very best, and I don't want to get off on a tangent on the discipline thing. But how are you coming at your kids? Are you emotionally abandoning them, criticizing them for being them? They doing their best at whatever they doing, right? But it ain't up to what you feel like it should be. So you go and you start turning them down, or you feel like it should be done this way, but they're doing it their way.
Right.
See, parents, don't get all caught up right now and trying to make excuses for, oh, well, I need this, that, and the other. Stay with me. Don't start trying to bring up your defense mechanisms and all of that. Just stay with me right now.
Shut up, Melanie.
So, being controlling can be emotional abandonment, having that kid feel like they're treated unfair. Basically, my experiences and who I am is wrong. Do your kids feel like who they are is wrong in your eyes because it ain't how you think it should look? It ain't how we would have did it or how we did it. do you make your kids feel wrong? What you want to say?
Now, I agree with everything you're saying. But again, let me just shut up for right now. I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, because again, old school.
Don't make it right.
No. Everything old school wasn't right.
Right.
Everything new school ain't right either.
Yeah, because we're imperfect people.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I truly feel we have today a lot of emotionally weak young adults, young children today.
I believe we have.
Okay, go ahead.
Within the Black community, and I love all our other followers, but I gotta speak to us right now.
Of course.
We feel like because they was hard on us growing up, that's why a lot of us are emotionally empty. We don't know how to deal with our stuff because our parents felt like they had to raise us strong, and I gotta treat you like this so you'll be able to deal with the world, and I gotta be ruthless with you. Like, you don't have to be like that to get people to perform in excellence.
I absolutely
have
agree.
to
You're absolutely
emotionally correct. Abandon your kids to make sure that they are good in life. You don't have to treat people like that. And that's why we, as Black people, we don't know how to be vulnerable because we got to feel hard because we wasn't emotionally abandoned. I don't know how to show emotions. My parents didn't show emotions to me. I don't know how to show it, so then I pass it on to my kids. Mm-hmm. And then we get in relationships and we can't hurt each other. Yeah. And we can't address each other.
But, yes, baby, but.
We're talking about emotional abandonment.
Okay, go ahead. I'm wrong. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to say. I don't know what you're about to say. I'm just
why did I get that response?
I'm just trying to keep you focused on what our topic is.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
It's surely not healthy to treat your kids like that.
Like what?
Criticizing them and
it's being hard to be criticized.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying that.
I know.
But when you make a kid feel like they are wrong for being them, or
maybe they was wrong for doing this or that.
I didn't say doing this or that. I said for being who they are. A boy who may be in touch with his emotions and he wants to express, or he might deal someone cry. Man, you don't need to be crying. You weak. You this, that, and the other. Because I got emotions. Yeah. Because God gave me emotions. I'm reading this book on emotions, and it said how emotions are created or formed is $1 million question. So what you are telling people is that the emotions that God give us as a man, as a woman, we can't honor it. We can't sit in it. And then you wonder why.
No, it's a time and a place for everything.
It is a time and a place for everything.
I think more guys are being raised that way in general. Stop crying. If you break an ankle as a little kid, you shouldn't be crying. So I agree with you. But there's a time and a place where we may have to, you may tell a young man, we're not wipe that off. Let's keep it pushing, baby.
Every now and then. So, emotional abandonment. I get that, baby, but we're talking about abandonment because it's not no one-time situation of every blue moon where it is a way of, let me say this, it's a way of being.
Yes.
All the time with your kids. You're criticizing them. You're controlling them. Right. You making them feel like everything that they do is wrong.
Explain the controlling, because as a parent, you control your kids. So I mean, explain what do you mean where you done went too far about the control.
I would say this kid feels like this is the best way for them to learn.
Okay.
And they're trying to figure it out. But a parent, you need to do it like this. You need to do it my way. You need to instead of letting kids evolve into who God created them to be, we make everything that they do wrong. It's not right. How you doing that ain't right. Or just not allowing them to even express themselves. Okay. And I can use this as an example of just trying to control every aspect of them. Like they can't be unique. They can't be them. I'm just gonna say that because it can go deeper.
Yeah, because I didn't know where because as a parent, we're going to control the way you dress at times, or the way you speak, or the word.
But it's a difference between controlling everything about you
I don't mean everything.
And what you do.
Right.
We don't. Some parents don't let their kids have individuality. I want you to wear your hair like this.
Right.
I want you to be like this. I want you to dress like this. I want you to do, versus saying, how do you want to dress? And then you mold and you teach them, okay, now that's not really classy. Once you pick something else, these are your choices versus this is how I said it's gonna be done. This is it. This is how you gonna wear your hair because this is what I like. Although your kid hate wearing their hair like that. And then,
Preach, Miss B.
And then you cannot they can't find themselves. That's another issue. Your parents control so much of your life as a kid. Now you are an adult and you trying to find your way. You trying to figure out who you are, and you need everybody to validate you and tell you who you are.
That you want to follow, read. Ms. Bain said, however, kids now more manipulative and will use their new age teaching and then use the emotional abandonment as the excuse to act a certain way.
Kids don't know nothing about emotional abandonment. They just know they don't feel loved by their parents, or they know that they don't measure up to their parents. And if your kid, I guess explain that where you saying that they are manipulating the situation. I'm talking about kids who genuinely feel like their parents don't feel love.
One child can go to a certain parent, dad or mom.
That's not emotional abandonment.
They can manipulate it and go to them and act like they're being emotionally abandoned. Daddy, mama's criticizing me. Mama is doing this and that. That's a perfect example, don't you think? They can manipulate that relationship and go to daddy when baby girl, no, mama ain't doing that. Mama is actually right, but mama criticizes, she's making me feel.
But if your kid is coming to you saying, I make you feel like that, evidently they don't feel like they can talk to me and tell me that. So if my kid if Kaya come to you and say, mama making me feel like that, I hope you will come to me and tell me. Because as a parent, I can change. Right. As a parent, I can adjust. Kids help us be better. So for him, if she was to come to him like that, and for me to go to her, why you tell your daddy that? But I done missed the whole opportunity.
Right.
Because I done got in my feelings as a grown-up based off what a kid done said. Mm-hmm. I done got in my feelings. Mm-hmm. Versus sitting with it
and asking
myself, why does my child feel like that about me? Why does my child feel like I don't like them? Why does my child feel like this? Right. I done got in my feelings as an adult and mad at them. Come on, y'all. So emotional abandonment. You can be you can still be providing for your kids physically and materially and emotionally abandon them. And I want to say this, parents, breathe. Breathe.
And y'all didn't know this is a very passionate subject for my baby. My baby's a cow. She's very passionate behind this.
Understand this. We are not saying that you are a bad parent.
I am.
If you are emotionally abandoning your kid, because a lot of times you just doing what was done to you.
Right.
And that's all you know. But when you know better, you got to do better. Okay. And so you can still be a good parent, providing for them, loving them the best way, but you can still emotionally abandon your kids.
Right.
And so going back to, does your love feel conditional?
Okay.
Did your parents' love feel conditional to you? As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, you like me. But then when I don't, now you going and you telling everybody bad stuff about me. You treat me like the scum of the earth. You treat me different than my other siblings.
Okay.
You
go back to what I said. Where's the balance? Because if you're doing what's right, making good grades, your parents are going to be extremely pleased.
Okay.
But here you come constantly getting in trouble at the school. Every time I look up, you in trouble at the school. Yeah, now you washing dishes now. I ain't really speaking to you like I used to because I'm
Why
mad
would
at
you
you.
speak to
What
your
I mean, like
children?
I used to because I'm pissed out.
That's
You done
another-
cussed out the teacher.
That's another way we emotionally abandon
That's
our
why I
kids.
said that.
Silent treatment
What
with
I
your
mean,
kids.
listen to
Not
what I
talking
said.
to your kids,
Listen
y'all.
to what I said and relax. I said not more. Normally, we could sit here and talk about the new movie and talk about what's going on in the world. But right now, I'm talking to you just strictly about X, Y, Z because I am upset. I don't want to have a civilized conversation right now. You just got kicked out of school for bringing drugs.
So you trying to deal with your emotions. Babe, and you're going more so on a discipline.
Right. So that's not abandonment, though. It's not the same. I'm asking. I'm doing everything you said emotional abandonment is. I'm doing just that. Yes or no?
As a parent. That's what she's asking.
Yes, as parents, some will do exactly
you
that.
have to discipline your kids. What I'm saying is you can discipline your kids in love. You can discipline not because I'm treating you like the scum of the earth because I love you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I can discipline you, I can handle you in love, and it feels loving, and I can still guide and correct you. So and I'm gonna bring it to adults based on what you based on what you're saying.
Okay.
So me and you, we good.
Okay.
You ain't doing most of the time you doing good.
Right.
But when you do something that I don't like,
right.
I saw you stupid, you dumb. Why would you do something like that? You a grown man. And I just start ripping you apart. Do I have to address you like that to bring about correction?
No.
So if I don't have to address you as an adult like that to bring about correction, I surely should not have to address my children like that.
And no situation.
To bring about correction, not tearing you down and making you feel less than. That's what I'm saying.
I totally agree. And I hear you. I do hear you. I want you to understand, I do hear you. I'm just saying in certain situations, your correction or your discipline won't feel love.
I agree with that.
What you did was so egregious. I just done bailed you out of jail. Love ain't coming out right now. You won't feel it, but I do love my child because I don't want this to happen again because I can see what happened, but you're not going to feel love in this situation.
Okay.
You disagree? You ain't got caught breaking into people's houses. I ain't finna feel you. You ain't gonna feel love right now.
I think we getting crossed in you're emotionally abandoning your kids because of who they are. You're constantly criticizing them for who they are. I don't seem like I can please my parents. I feel like I'm less than. And because they cannot rationalize with why you will be treating them like that, they start internalizing it.
Right.
They start assuming it is me.
Right.
It's something wrong with me that my parents would treat me like this.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep moving. Okay, y'all are tuning into the Couples Lounge Show. I'm Candace, and this is my husband.
Go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Couples Lounge.
Ramon. I am the life coach of the show. He the teacher of the show, and together we are relationship coaches. Okay. So moving on, other ways in which emotional abandonment happens, and sometimes it is unintentional, parents.
Right.
Again, did your parents emotionally abandon you? Sometimes parents are dealing with their own stress, their own chaos in their relationship.
Can I ask you a question? What percentage of children was even as adults or at some point emotionally abandoned? I believe everybody is.
I would say this is what it said. It says a study shows that 40% of married people have felt lonely, emotionally abandoned, sometimes or always. So I would give that 40.
40?
Adults become kids become adults.
That's
so you get abandoned.
Of kids was emotionally abandoned. Then is basically what he's saying.
or felt like that at some point. I don't know the statistics.
I'm
I
saying
don't
what they
understand.
said. Do you agree with that? 40%, that seemed kind of low to me.
About half of the people in marriages say that they feel emotionally abandoned. I can't agree.
Okay, as a married couple,
Mm-hmm.
they feel.
Mm-hmm.
I still think I think it's higher than that.
It might be. Dealing with stress and chaos in our relationships can cause us to emotionally abandon our kids. Meaning, we going through all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Tyra, for sharing. We going through our stuff, our personal stuff. Our kids come in.
Right.
Mama, get out of my room. I ain't got time. The kids trying to come and talk to you.
Right.
Man, leave me alone. I'm chilling right now. This is the daddy. I'm watching TV. Leave me alone.
Right.
Well, are you coming home? Work. Sometimes we so caught up in work. Like that little girl. Well, daddy, I see you packing. I was going to come in here and talk to you. Well, baby, now I'm busy right now.
Right.
Move on. Or your kids are saying, you always gone. You ain't never heard. Y'all, listen to your kids. I think they unconsciously, their spirits unconsciously speak for them when they are in need of something. And I try to be so in tune to my kids. Definitely once I done heard something more than once. Like when I done got to a point where I can recall you saying this more than one time, all right, it's time for me to adjust.
Right.
Baby girl, and I think I've said this on the show before, will ask us or ask me, Mama, what we doing today as far as with the family? Well, and she was asking that consistently. I'm like, it's time to shift. It's time to shift. Sometimes your kids might be like, well, every time you come home, then you going straight to work. Or you come home and you're not even talking to us, Mama. You're emotionally not there for your kids. Sometimes my kids are just come in the office like several times. And it's a clue to me, get up at this office, go in there with them, see what they're doing, go to their rooms.
Right.
We can emotionally abandon our kids unintentionally. It also may show up you dealing with abuse in your marriage or in your relationship or in your life, and you can't be there to attend to your kids' needs emotionally. You don't nurture them, you don't listen to them, you don't try to understand them, you don't show them no kind of love, no, you don't do nothing with them, no companionship, you don't seem to value who they are as a person. You're not there for them. They don't feel your love. Just because you are a provider, kids do not relate money to love. I'm going to tell you. We've had kids that can be suited and booted from head to toe.
Oh,
they got Jordans on. They got this, that, and the other. And they don't feel loved by their parents.
Man.
Kids don't equate money to love.
No. Not teenagers don't.
Them little ones don't either.
Yeah, that's true. They gonna want the time.
Yes. Yeah. They would rather have your time, that part, than your money. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move on. Where I said working all the time, expecting them or putting them in situations that are not age appropriate. You got your 10-year-old babysitting your 6-year-old or your kids, and they 10. And a lot of times, sometimes that's not, sometimes you gotta work. I get it. I'm not judging the why. I'm just saying when we put our kids in these situations, we switch them from being a kid to have to shift into an adult mentality.
But I don't necessarily, I totally agree. You're right. Mm-hmm. But that instance, we've all had to hold down the house.
I have never had to be that young.
You never stayed at home by yourself.
Not a 6-year-old or 10-year-old, and I'm watching my little brothers, and I'm at
only because your older brother watched you.
I don't know.
So y'all mom and dad ain't left, and Pat had to watch all of
that. I don't know. He might have.
I'm sure he did.
He might have. But that's how you end up getting kids that are the oldest who feel like they were emotionally left out. I had to raise kids.
Right.
And I can't even get in tune with who I am emotionally.
I can't even be a child myself.
I can't be a child. Okay. And not judging the why, I'm just saying. That is how we start emotionally abandoning. or you dumping your grown-up issues on your kids. You talking to your kids about your adult stuff.
Right.
What is a kid supposed to do about your man cheating on you? Right. And he treating me like this.
Or your daddy doing this, your mama doing that.
Or you exposing to your kids. On the Yala show, one of the women was like, yeah, I told my kids I prostitute, yeah, that I sleep around. She said, what? What makes you think any kid will want to know their mama is a hoe?
Right.
What? Wow. Why would you tell your
I'm
kids
traumatized for hearing that. What kid ain't traumatized?
Even your
if he's a boy, and he may look at women.
Yeah.
Wow.
So understand you emotionally abandon your kids in their way.
Okay.
When kids are emotionally abandoned, they feel unworthy. Again, they start internalizing it. But sometimes it show up externally too. Right. It starts internal though. Okay. I feel unworthy. I feel shame on the inside. I feel guilty for something I don't even know that I done, but maybe I done something to make my parents treat me like this.
Right.
Eventually causing them to live in their head instead of in their hearts. Because I'm trying to make sense of it all. That's how you get kids to be like, man, I don't care. I don't care. They trying to shut off this pain that it feels. How many of y'all have shut off your heart because of what you went through as a kid? And now you're just trying to live in your head and you're trying to rationalize everything in, yo, this part of me, that's where that you numb from the neck down.
Right.
You ain't got no emotions. A husband can sit next to his wife, see her crying and in pain, or they talking and he just checked out.
Wow, that's bad.
Because it could be something from his childhood that he don't even know how to deal with it. He don't. He feeling so uncomfortable. Like, well, I don't know how to deal with this.
Right.
Because I was emotionally abandoned as a child. So your tears, what I'm supposed to do with it? When I cried when I was younger, I was told to suck it up.
Right.
I was told to move on. I was told you gotta be strong. You don't cry. That's why some people can't relate to people. Why you crying? Like, just get up and move. But you got to be willing to honor people's experience and people's emotions. You got to be willing to honor it, whether you understand it or not.
Okay.
How about try to understand it? So you got kids that come into adults, and we wonder why. Right. A lot of times we are attracting emotionally people that can't be emotionally there for us because that's what we used to.
Right.
So I get with you. You somebody who show love. I ain't used to somebody showing love.
Right.
Oh, you too clingy. You want to hug too much. Oh no, I can't be with him.
Right.
He make you feel uncomfortable with his love because you don't know what it is. You ain't never experienced it.
Yeah, you never saw it. Never experienced. Yeah.
And you wonder why you keep attracting who you attracting because it feels normal. That's what you used to.
Right. Wow, that was.
Try something different.
Huh.
Try something different. Love is not bad. Now, if somebody is, they not mentally right, that's a whole nother thing. Don't you start. I saw it. Don't you start. So emotionally abandoned kids fast forward and become emotionally unavailable adults. So, oh my God, we only got 20 minutes, and maybe that's all we need. So, fathers that are this gonna take us out, I think.
Okay, break it down.
Fathers that are unemotional.
Okay.
Or emotionally unavailable.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Okay.
What do you feel like a father is teaching her daughter about a man? If you're not emotionally in tune to her, you don't show your daughter love. You're not there for her. What do you think you're teaching her as a man?
This is how men are. This is what men do. I'm more focused on my making money. I'm more focused on my career, my job, passion, whatever, than I am you. That means that's how men's supposed to. So when she gets a man and her man is not emotionally connected to her, he ain't got a girl, whatever, and he's focused on other things, she thinks that's normal because that's how men know. I just saw my daddy do that. My daddy wasn't into my mama like that, but he stayed with her. My daddy didn't kiss my mama and hug on my mama.
That's normal.
And cater to my mama and cared about her feelings. He didn't. He just provided. That's what men are supposed to do. So now she's in that same boat with a man who's not caring and loving in that way to her. So therefore, a lot of her needs will go unmet. Yeah. Because of what she saw her dad do.
And I just believe who we are at our core and who God created us to be, it will be something in us like love. God is love. So that means we are love. So eventually she's going to start figuring out this ain't right. Right. Although I know this is what I'm used to, as more as she grow into herself and who she is as a woman and get closer to God, she will start figuring and saying, I'm not cool with this. This don't feel right. This ain't good. Like what Donna said, she doesn't know what to expect when a man ain't there. Right. And like you said, how are you emotionally available to her mama? How do you treat her mother, whether you are with her or not? Right. How do you treat her mother?
That is placing a seed in her. Whether as a father, whether you know it or not, it is placing something in her. Yeah, man, that's powerful.
And so what do you think a man that's emotionally unavailable teaching his son? Because he watching.
Same thing. Son, this is what men do. This is how we do it right here. This is what you do. Everything what I just said about the dog, same thing. But now you have your son who's to lead a family and your grandchildren. By me doing this, will have my grandchildren suffering. Yeah. By me acting and being this way, my grandbabies, my grandkids will suffer because of how I am and how I raise my son. Right. I don't want my grandkids to be emotionally abandoned because their parents are, because of the way I treated my son. My son mistreating his wife. Now my granddaughter's seeing it. She's going to be mistreated because she's seen her mama do it. And then my grandson going to be treating his wife and his grandkids that way. I'm not going to say condemn, but I've hindered generations off of me being emotionally abandoned or emotionally disconnected to my family. And that's how powerful and how deep it goes. You don't think about generations. You're thinking about here and now. Yeah. What about your grandchildren? Yeah. And their kids. And their kids.
And that's how you get generational patterns. Yes. Somebody got to be willing to stop. Somebody got to be willing to do something different. And the thing about it is, if a woman is not aware how her dad is, she will get with a dude that's just like her daddy. Yeah. More times than not, women do get with men, good or bad, that's just like their daddy.
Or you going to get with him just like him, or he's going to be the total opposite. Yeah. Total opposite.
And the thing about it is, when you get with that dude that's like your daddy, that dude will help you heal up the stuff that you experienced with your daddy. Do that mean you're going to end up staying with that dude? Maybe not. Right. But that's where you're healing. Because when you come in connection with people like this, we helping each other heal that childhood stuff. Right. We allow it to come up in each other. Like when you say, can't nobody make you mad like your spouse. It's stuff that needs to be healed. And that person brings it up so you can see it, so you can look at it. If you're willing to look at yourself and not keep pointing the fingers at them. But loving on you, he trying to love on you, give you hugs, and you ain't used to people hugging on you, so your parents didn't hug on you. Get back. What are you doing? Stop hugging on me. Move. Right. Or he just want to come, Mom, I want to talk to you. Son, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. What's wrong with you? Why are you tripping like that? So what you have just done is teaching him how a woman is supposed to treat him. And now you mad that he done got with somebody who just like you and don't treat him good, so to say. Right.
And a
all y'all that's got sons, look at the woman he attract. And especially if you don't like her. Is she like you? What did you teach him as to how a woman is supposed to treat him? And the same thing with women and their girls. Being emotionally unavailable. You're teaching her how to be available, emotionally or not, with a dude, with a man.
Got some very good segment. I know I have emotionally abandoned my young adult child when she was a child, unintentionally.
Yeah.
Once I have addressed it and apologized, what more can I do? She's still acting now. Love you guys.
Once I would say this, Yolanda, make sure, and I'm not saying that you didn't, but make sure that you hear her. Allow her to speak her experience without it feeling like judgment,
right.
Without you feeling like you got to defend you don't have to defend yourself. Just listen. Baby, what was your experience of me? And when she allow her to lay it all out, she grown. So either it's gonna come out in a decent, civilized conversation where she gets to express it, or she will express it in spurts. But allow her the privilege to speak to you from her heart without judging it, without becoming defensive, without all of that. And then once she tells you, baby, I confess, I didn't show up like this. Share your story with her. I didn't know I truly was doing the best, but I can see how that impacted you, how that affected you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And that's different from an apology. I'm sorry, baby. That's one thing. But to say, please forgive me, that's like really acknowledging it that I was wrong. No, that I could have done differently. Right. But the thing about it is we're doing the best we can with what we know. Right. And so if you listening to this show and you see that this was you as a child and maybe you were doing it to your kids. Right. Or it wasn't done to you, but you got in an emotional abusive relationship. You got caught up in your marriage or relationship and you start abandoning your kids, whatever. Choose to do differently starting today. You were doing the best you could do. It's that simple. But sometimes when kids come to us and try to tell us about our experience, we go on defense mode. We want to justify. We want to say, well, now you should still be doing da-da-da-da just because I'm doing this. We get in defense mode and we can't even hear them. And then once they realize, and I would say it's the same as when you are with your spouse. You trying to go to them and to speak your heart to them, and they in defense mode. They trying to justify why they did what they did. Da 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 da. Just listen. Listen. Okay, this is my experience, and it's also your wording. When you go and you talk to people, share your experience. I'm not saying you're a bad person. Let me just share with you how I am experiencing, because some people, you might say you was rude. I ain't rude. I just my experience was it felt like you was rude to me. It felt disrespectful. That was my experience. And so I hope that helped a little bit. Okay, we ain't gonna have time to get into how it shows up in your adult life. I don't know if baby will have time this week, but because February we're shifting, I want to address how it fast forwards into adult life.
What are we talking about in February?
We're talking about, well, hold on, let me finish this show out, baby. Okay. So when we are emotionally abandoned as kids, it shows up in our adult life, in our adult relationship. So you wonder why your husband don't nurture you, don't listen, don't understand.
Hey,
how he done.
I listen to you.
You are better. You are better. You are better. And the crazy thing is, let me tell you this. Have y'all ever been somebody give you a compliment and you can't take a compliment? You don't know how to receive a compliment.
Right.
Not knowing how to receive love. Somebody trying to tell you something good and you don't even feel like you're worthy of it. You don't even feel like you deserve it. You dismiss the compliment.
Right.
You dismiss the love that they trying to give you. They trying to hug on you. They trying to kiss you. You blocking it. You blocking it because it feels so abnormal to you.
Right. Like, oh, what are you doing? What are you saying?
If you're not careful, the same abandonment that your parents did to you, you will pass on to your kids. And then you get in relationships with people that abandon you. Because you were emotionally abandoned, it's easier to check out. You know what? I might can go on and just hit on this just real quick.
Go ahead, man.
When you in adult relationships and you feel abandoned.
Okay.
The ways that you feel abandoned in adult relationship, it's like, I love her, but I don't want to be around her.
Right.
Or I ain't vibing. I don't feel connected to you.
Right.
You can emotionally abandon somebody, like you prefer to be out of the house than in the house. You constantly gone. You don't have time to spend her.
Right.
But you make time for your friends.
Right.
You make time for your family.
Right.
You make time for your job.
Right.
But her, I don't want to be her.
Right.
You're being emotionally abandoned. You're being emotionally abandoned when they not trying to, they don't appreciate you, they don't show you no value. You trying to reach out, you trying to tell them.
They're not even trying to hear it.
At all.
I'm not even trying to understand it. You tripping.
Yeah. And this is what really got me. The sign that you are in an emotionally abandoned relationship. Denial. Denial that it even exists. I'm coming to you. I'm trying to tell you how I feel. And you telling me I'm tripping. You telling me it ain't that bad.
Right.
You the one that need to go to counseling because you got the problem.
Right.
You the one feeling like that. I'm good. They are emotionally abandoned you. If you can't sit here and listen to me, you're not sitting here trying to understand me. But that denial comes sometimes because they're not comfortable.
Right.
I don't know how to deal with emotions.
Right.
I don't even know how to deal with my own emotions.
Right.
I ain't in tune with how I can't even identify my emotions. Sometimes you ask me, well, how you feel about it? They say, I don't know. They might say it with an attitude, but they really don't know. But they got to act mad about it so you can back up. I'm not trying to address this. I don't know how to address this. So they are uncomfortable because they don't know. They when it feels like they try to avoid emotionally charged situations. I feel like this is supposed to be some type of emotions here. Right. Not good emotions. Of course, we like the good emotions.
Right.
But when it's an emotionally charged issue, I'm not trying to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't. Because sometimes, again, they don't know how. Because if you were in tune to your emotions, you could speak how you feel when you trigger, when you are aware of all that, when you was raised in a house where you could express how you feel. You could talk to your parents talk to you. Right. It's common. Tell me what's going on. Even for a man, because some men are raised in homes where he's able to honor his emotions. And some women ain't. So that's when you got that woman that's hard.
Right.
Gangster, her hard. No, I ain't talking about that. It feels too uncomfortable. I don't know, whatever. You need to get yourself together. You being weak right now. You ain't being a man.
Right.
So it can happen on both ways. So, and I'm going to leave y'all with this.
Break it down.
Infidelity is a symptom of somebody who's been emotionally abandoned.
Yeah.
And that go both ways. I'm not even gonna jump on the it's a mostly man thing or woman thing. Infidelity is a symptom of emotional abandonment.
Right.
Because I'm trying to talk to you. Right. I need love. I need companionship. I need affection.
Right.
We need those things as humans, y'all.
Yes, we do.
That's why this whole COVID thing, this is abnormal. Not to be in connection and emotion, being
there's been several studies proven, like with I forgot what's in prison, when men or women are placed in isolation, they go crazy. They literally go crazy. You cannot be by yourself for so long and not lose it more times than not. The young man, I forgot his name. It's a black kid that got arrested in New York, stole the backpack.
I forgot his name too. Some of the
yes. He basically went crazy over the things he was placed in. He was getting beat and abused. Then they placed him in isolation, and he lost it. He thought people was following him, trying to kill him, and he ended up committing suicide. It's real.
That ain't how God set us up.
Khalil Brown.
We are not supposed to be alone. We're not supposed to be by ourselves. And I think with COVID, that's why, like they said, Las Vegas opened up their schools because there was so many kids killing themselves.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably being in a household with parents that are emotionally unavailable or
that could drive.
No, it will drive you crazy. Yeah.
Go work, home, work, home, work. You will lose it.
But when you are not emotionally in tune with your kid, you can get out and do things.
But I'm saying when the shutdown, people weren't.
Right.
You wasn't doing that, and that was causing issues.
Right. So, emotional abandonment. I titled this Then and Now because then being our childhood, fast forward to now, I hope you were able to see maybe some patterns or some things that would happen in your childhood that caused you to be emotionally unavailable, or how you are attracting emotionally unavailable people.
Right.
Or even if you're doing it with your own kids. And even giving you a better understanding of the spouse that you are with. Some spouses will be willing to hear, okay, while listening to this show today, babe, and then asking them about their childhood. A lot of times we don't go back that far.
Right.
Because some people are uncomfortable talking about it.
Right.
But
now, if I'm single, them are questions I will make sure I find out about your childhood.
Yeah, and you gotta keep talking about it because it's so many layers to childhood that you keep finding stuff out about yourself. Definitely if you go to coaching, you're going to start finding out like, dang, that's why I'm like that.
Right.
That it happened in childhood. So you continue to learn how that stuff affects you. So you got to keep talking to each other, keep talking to your spouse. So this is my somebody should have told me. And I wrote it out because I want to make sure that I get it all out.
Break it down.
Do you